Glad to have you here. Thanks so much for checking on this replay of Periscope. This is a recording, and I'm going to be showing you how to effectively take a picture, remove the background, and if you want to make it a transparent picture so you can add it on top of other images, I'm going to show you how to do that. So what we are going to do is, of course, get rolling in 1 minute. My goal is always to get to the meat of the content in 1 minute. My name is Dwyer, and I help people build their home businesses with a no-nonsense, direct to the point steps and techniques. I figure it out for you, and I boil it down, and I want to teach it for you and be able to make your business become successful more and bigger and better. So my name is Christine. This is going to be very good because this is a topic that a lot of people just aren't sure how to do, and I want to be able to show you how to do it for free. So I'm going to use two ways. One is an offline way and another is an online way. So for instance, if you're on a plane and you're trying to create some images and you just don't have Wi-Fi access or any way and you want to still be able to do it, you could do it by a technique that I actually showed my husband how to do, which was crazy because he's in IT. And he's like, I didn't know you could do that. So I was pretty proud of myself for figuring that out. And you know what? I probably don't know it perfectly, but I get by. So I'm glad to have a bunch of y'all coming on in Alaska. Those of you who are new to Periscope, here's the deal. So broadcasters like myself, we put on training like this 24 hours and it's gone. So this content does live on Periscope for only 24 hours, and that actually forces you to watch those trainings really quick. But for me, I move my downloads over to my YouTube channel. So you can go to youtube.com/Christine Dwyer and you can find all my trainings over there. I'm still loading up some back ones because I don't want to put them all up on one day. So you can go over there and find that. So I'm glad to have you guys coming on by. And if you have questions, of course, you can ask them in the comments. So there's a comment field. You can ask them. Please share this if you think this is going to be helpful. But if you want to ask me questions and you're locked out of the broadcast, all you got to do is erase all the text that's there before you tweet it. Then just make sure my name is there, @Christine Dwyer. And if you really want me to see it even faster, make sure you use my hashtag CD Scopes. So my initial CD Scopes, because that will help me find it faster. CD Scopes, let's get rolling. I've been helping people build their businesses as entrepreneurs, mostly in network marketing. I myself am in network marketing. I've been doing that for the past 7 years. But for the last 15 years, I've been helping and launching and grooming people who are independent contractors working to build their businesses in the field that they love to do. And that has been my forte. But for the past 7 years, really leading a downline organization and teaching people how to become millionaires in their own home businesses. So that's what I'm doing here. Let's get into the meat of this. What we're going to do is go and, of course, split my screen. I'm going to show you how to do it. I've got 2 ways to use it. We are going to be using, one is from Picmonkey, and then the other is my secret, which many of you guys may know already. But so Picmonkey, I tried doing it the other day and I just never knew it could do that. So actually one of the ladies that was on my scope, she sent me a link and she goes, here, watch this. I said, perfect. I will teach that now. So I learned from someone else and I'm just passing it on. So again, that's how y'all learn. So let's get started. I'm going to be flipping the screen and I'm going to first show you how I do it first in Picmonkey. So Picmonkey is a free website. There is a paid version, but I'm on this scope going to show you how to do it for free. I want to make sure that you guys see this for free because especially as entrepreneurs, I know that you have to watch where your money goes and I want to make sure you can at least get your good content out there. Here's the other thing. Tomorrow, I'm going to be scoping on how to make Facebook ad pictures. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to be making Facebook ad pictures and showing you how to do that. So I'm not teaching you how to do the Facebook ad, that's another time, but how to make the images that people want to see and will come after you. Okay, so let's now flip the screen over to my monitor, and this is the only way to be able to do it. Me just zoomed up and tight into my computer, and I'm going to be just moving this around for y'all. Swipe up. So this is just a simple image to give you the idea of what we're going to be doing today. Okay. So what you're going to do is come to picmonkey.com, and again, you can see that's the logo, and we are going to move it right on over here and click on design. So click on design, which is going to pull up this screen, and you're going to see that menu bar right on over there to the side. So what we first do is we click on this little butterfly. So click on this butterfly, and it's going to bring up a menu here. So right here from this menu, what you want to do is go grab the image that you want. Just watch. So we're going to go right here and click the image that we want. And right here, we're going to then choose from my computer. And I'm just going to go grab from my computer a couple images. So I just have a couple in here. I will grab just this headshot, and it's going to pull it into the screen. Now look how tiny this is. So of course, fill it up to as big as you want it to be. So here I am, and I can of course crop out the other stuff. So this was just a picture that I took following get my hair done. And now all we're going to do is try to remove all of this background, because I just want basically the headshot, and that's it. Over here, eraser. So up here it says eraser. Let me move this a little bit so you guys can see. And now you've got the eraser size and then also the eraser hardness. Right now, just select a bigger scale for both of them. So you see how the size is really big now on how big the eraser is going to be? Because what I want to do is erase the most amount of chunks as possible, and then I'll get in tighter to my image once I'm around the outsides. So all you do is hold down your mouse, and I'm just scrolling as I'm coming around this outside and erasing all of this. And I will show you if you make a mistake how to get rid of some of that, but I am doing this delicately around the viewpoint of my camera. All right, so I got that one side, and then again, I just come in and again around this outside. Now hair, especially if you're blonde, is really challenging to be able to get those little fine wispies and all. Okay, so now we go and we bring this right on down, boom, boom, boom. And now because I'm going to be close to my edge of my head, if I went with this hard edge, then I'm going to be cutting a fine line, kind of really cropping it tight. So what I want to do is kind of make it like a feather. So I'm going to decrease the hardness of this edge. So you can see how it becomes a lot more fuzzier and the edge is not as hard. So I'm just decreasing the edge of that. So now when I come in, of course, this is still going to be a bit larger, and you might need to play around with this, of course. And I'm just going to quickly do this since we're all together and just come in. And now that edge around my hairline is not going to be as tight because it's feathered. So if I had it as a harder edge, then of course it would be a lot tighter. So here, I'm not going to do this perfect. I'm just going to give you the example because we would be here all night. And plus because I am doing it from far away, since I am looking at this through my phone. So like for instance, in here would be a little bit of a challenge. So you might need to zoom up. Now I'm going to show you a little technique that when you cut part of yourself off, how you can add it back in. So again, I'm just holding down the mouse and, oh, see, I cut off my shoulder a little bit. So I'm going to add my shoulder back in. And again, you might need to cut off some of the parts that are just too hard to get through for that edge, okay? So now I cut my shoulder off over here. So what you do is you go back to this eraser, you click on it, I'm sorry, the paintbrush, and you click on it. And now this is going to allow me to add me back in. So again, you still want to keep like a feathered edge and maybe make the size a little bit smaller here. But now, see, I'm bringing myself back in. So you could bring yourself back in. And if I was more defined on where I cut myself off, I probably could just go ahead and add just a little bit. But now I got to go back in and add a little bit more of the eraser. Now for me, it takes a delicate hand. And it is a little challenging, in my opinion, to be able to do that. All right, so there's that one side. And again, you go ahead and do that other side. So I'm going to finish this side right here. And it's, again, not going to be perfect because I am farther away from my laptop because I am doing this for your purposes. And I have to have the phone at a certain distance away. So let's just pretend we got this going all through here. Come around my glasses. So again, you just have to hold down the mouse and you're scrolling around here, coming up to my arm and my shoulder. Do. You know what? I think that would be better to actually get rid of that hair. Oh, I cut my face off. Did I cut my face off? All right. So then if I cut my face off, then of course I'm going to add me back in. And that works there. Okay, so for instance, you can zoom this up. So if I want to try to get into where the hair is, I need to move this around. So let's see. How do I move this around? I can't get this to move over there. Oh, there we go. So I want to get over to the hair here. Now this is a hard area because of course it is so fuzzy here. So I'm going to move that hardness down and just try to get rid of some of this. Increase my brush size a little bit and get through. Oops, I'm on the wrong side. Erase it. So I'm going to look in comments in a second as I'm trying to get through some of this. As I said, it's a little messy right now because I'm just showing you guys as I'm doing this how to do it. All right, so let's just kind of pretend that's the case. That's good for now. All right, that looks horrible, but that's okay. There it is, canvas color. So we click on this little box here and we choose canvas color, and now you can make the background to be whatever color choice you want, or if you want this to be a transparent image, now that all that I've removed is a transparent image, and now I can put this on top of anything and it only shows exactly what I have. So that's it in Picmonkey to be able to do that. So it takes a little bit of a delicate hand and some trial and error. I'm going to show you kind of my jury rig way of doing it, and that is with PowerPoint. So if you have PowerPoint, you can go ahead and do that. So I'm going to bring up PowerPoint and I'm going to start it off from the top here. So here is where you're going to open up a PowerPoint, and what I suggest you do is just always choose the blank layout so that you just have a blank screen here. And now all you do is bring over the image that you want. So I'm going to choose something a little bit more with more background so that we can go ahead and get rid of this. Now look at this is an image that I actually took on the set when I was filming Turbo Kick, and we also filmed Pio, but this was the Turbo Kick set that we did. And during takes, we always take as many images as we can, of course, for promo. So now this has a lot of parts that I don't need. So all you do is you go up here to where it says crop. So I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer. You click on crop, and click on the format picture, and you're going to crop this picture. So now you come back to the picture and you see these little arrows. Draw it in as tight as you can to the image that you want to cut out. Now this is what I normally do. So now all you do is, of course, hit crop. So you said a graphic designer using Adobe and love that there's a free way for others. Oh, yeah, because Adobe is, you got to pay for Adobe. And again, I like to try to teach people as many things as you can without having to pay for certain services. So again, this Photoshop is, of course, PowerPoint is what a lot of people have. So here's the image. And if I want to get rid of all this background, this is what you do. You go right here to where it says, right next to the crop button, remove background. Now it's going to automatically remove the background that it thinks that you want it to be. And you see how it brought in these lines here? So it does honestly a great job finding the edges by itself so that I don't have to edit as much. I don't know about Keynote. I haven't used Keynote because that's on my new computer up at the top, or upstairs up at the top. Sorry, I'm editing and talking at the same time. That might not be a smart idea. I have always used PowerPoint just because that's where my brain has always come from, and I have Outlook and Excel and all that on my Mac. I put it over here just because that's what I like to use. So I haven't used Keynote, but I'll have to test that out. So again, this is PowerPoint. So I'm going to zoom this up so you can see what it did. So this automatically found the edges for me, but look at how it made this mistake, like it's cutting my hair off and all. So all you do is you see how this little button, it turns from a green to a red. You're just clicking on the parts that you want to keep. And so if I click on these parts, you might need to click multiple times to bring parts back in, and it finds the edges for you. And of course you can zoom in, zoom out, whatever. So it's going to find the edges for me. And I can keep zooming in. So like right here, it's not. So I want that edited. So I'm going to bring in more of the purple in the background, and then same thing over here. So again, all you do is just click around to add and remove wherever it's finding an error. So if this is helping you guys, let me know again with those tapping on the screen with the hearts, because that of course lets me know that this is helpful. I'm going to keep that like that so you can see you just got to come in a little bit tighter with your zoom so that you can get in tighter. And sometimes if the pattern or the colors are just so the same, you're going to have to click a lot of times. So see how I have to keep clicking here? Then I'm finally bringing in the towel. So sometimes your one click might not immediately find it. You might have to click a boatload in the same image just to bring that part of the image back in. And if it's like we'll also do that too. So for me, I think, you know, of course, this could be a little glitchy sometimes, but for me, sometimes with my hand, I don't want to have such a steady hand to have to trace. Well, how did it become negative there? So that this is easier if I just point and click and it gets rid of it. I got to get rid of this negative right here. Hold on a second. All right, so plus, we want this guy. So the slowness is my computer. Just so you guys know, my computer is always Mac Daddy full. That's why I have a new Mac upstairs that my husband is loading and getting ready to transition over to me. So that's why this is just taking... Nope, this is not Picmonkey. This is PowerPoint now. So this is, again, another way to be able to do it. Oh, how did that negative get there? Thanks so much for reminding them to tap for hearts, because I think this is valuable, especially, again, letting the broadcasters know that this type of content is what you guys need to be able to grow your business. All right, so I got my towel in. So I'm going to move right here. And you can see, of course, between my legs, I need to get rid of that. And I might just crop this image faster so we can get through this, or just so you can get the idea. That's what we'll do. You get the idea of what I'm doing, but it just, you plus and remove it. That's it. So you're just hitting where you want to keep images if it was too tight in error, and then you are hitting negatives if you want to get rid of that spot. All right, we are almost there-ish. I'm just trying to get this middle part of my leg, and then I'm going to show you. You can already see over here in the preview that what it's doing, so you can kind of see like how close you are. And this can take a little bit of time, as I said, especially if your image has a lot of different variant colors in the background and the edges are hard to find, or if it's just too light colors. And you know what? There's apps that will also do this, but what I found, again, is that apps, you just have to trace your finger really, really steady. And again, I just don't want to have to trace so steady all the time, so that's why I just will do. So I'm just going to kind of finish about this, just so you guys can get the gauge of it all, and then show you. So for instance, if you just wanted to see what this is looking like in real, all you do is then go back and you click on this remove background, and you could see what it's done. So now you could see there's some areas here that I could still click and get rid of. So for instance, if I zoomed in even more, so say for instance I go to 400, and I want to get down into like here, again I click on the remove background, and then I just click on the area again that I need to get rid of. So again, this will find the edges for you. So hopefully that makes sense. This finds the edges for you. But that's it. I mean, obviously you get the gist of this all, and you now know that you've got two options here that are free. One is offline, which is PowerPoint, and again, I don't know if it does it in Keynote because I haven't. And then the other one, the online, is Picmonkey. So again, you got Picmonkey, or you can use offline, which is, of course, PowerPoint. So I'm just adding my sneakers back on in, and then we'll be about done. So this is what I predominantly do to get my images. But so for instance, what we're going to do tomorrow, for those of you who want to jump back on my scope, I'm going to create a Facebook ad that gets attention, grabs people's attention to take action on what you want them to do. There is a lot of technique to that. And most of it has to do with the type of image that you're putting on, especially if it's yourself. Please don't Google like I did and just grabbed in the beginning just any image. So for instance, with me just showing you that picture of what I was going to be doing when we started the scope, that's no big deal because that was just a quick Google. And that, of course, I wasn't using for, you know, money purposes or trying to build my business and saying that's me or anything like that. So make sure that you're not using stock photos, should I say, in your images, because of anything that you're promoting for yourself and your business, it has to be you. So all your content has to be original content. You cannot use Googled images and stock photos and use that for your ads and your promos and all of that. So you need to use your own pictures. So whatever you're doing, you need to start taking more pictures of yourself and whatever you're doing in your life to build your business. So for instance, if your business is gardening, then you might want to start taking some pictures showing, some of your skills, of course, in gardening so that people can get it. All right, so I'm just going to try to get rid of this and zoom this back out so we can at least see what this is going to look like. All right, that's probably good enough. So let me get this guy back out to 100. That's too far away. Let's get it to 200. So there's lots of points. So the positive and negative of this, again, is that it will find the edges for you. Some of it might be a little fuzzy, but for the most part, not many people are looking at that detail, especially if you have it mixed in with other things. So this was using PowerPoint, and then again, I had a Picmonkey of what I did. So hopefully that was a bit helpful for y'all. Do you guys have any questions at all? So again, I wanted to make sure that these were 2 free options that you could use. Picmonkey is a website. You can pay a service to them, but they do have the option to take out the backgrounds, which you have to click and drag with your mouse and trace the edges. And then you can also make those images transparent. There's a bunch of apps also that do that as well, but just tracing your finger on your small phone sometimes is really hard. So that's something else to think about. What I just did on the last part was PowerPoint. And again, I don't know if Keynote does that. You might need to check. I haven't used Keynote really. But this will find the edges for you with error. And you need to go back and add and remove parts that you want and don't want. Appreciate you guys jumping on, and I will check in with you tomorrow.